Okay, we should be recording. So what I want to do is discuss the video assignment that's coming up for the Pub Ed, because it seems like this is the one that everybody has a hard time with, which is a little bit weird to me because this is the Instagram, TikTok generation. But like you ask them to do a video, like an actual, scripted video, and it's just, nobody knows what to do. So I'm going to share the screen here. And then, okay. Can you see what I'm looking at?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So week 13, right? There we go. All right. So the evaluation form, if you may or may not have noticed, last week, the evaluation form was still a 5-point rubric, which was the old grading rubric from last term. We got that fixed today. So it is now a 4-point grading rubric. So the good news is, so this is specifically for the video assignment. If you look at, there's 3 different assignments. This is the 3rd assignment for that week, and it's the video assignment. And the nice thing is that the rubric is very, very specific about what you have to do to get the points. So it's a little less subjective and much more objective than a lot of the assignments that we've done so far, and that's a good thing. And I'll just run through what the parameters are. So number 1, did the student introduce him or herself and his or her lesson? So did you introduce who you are and what you're going to teach? Were the objectives for the lesson stated and covered during the presentation? So again, the best thing to do is at the very beginning, this is who I am. I'm going to teach you smoke detector and stay low and go. Okay, but state very clearly what the objectives are going to be. So if you're going to teach stay low and go, stop, drop, and roll, then you need to say those things at the beginning. So it's, if you follow the old concept of like, tell them what you're going to teach them, and then tell them what you taught them, that's a pretty good way to go. Okay, so you must state your objectives early. Did the instructor use preparation to introduce the instruction, motivate the students to learn? In other words, does it look like you actually prepared something? So that's why when I sent out an email last week about, use a script, so actually prepare what you're going. Don't just get up in front of the camera and start riffing, actually prepare. The instructor used audio visual aids to enhance the learning environment. So this would be props, so pretty easy one. If you're going to do smoke detectors, have a smoke detector, test it, right? Okay. The stay low and go, think about the kinds of things that you do at your department, when you do your station tours and stuff for Pub Ed. So one of the things that, like my department, what we do for stay low and go is we have a hospital blanket with black spray paint like dark smoke. And we get people hold on either end and we wave it and the kids got to crawl underneath it, so you're using props for audio visual aids to enhance the learning environment. PowerPoint will work to some degree, but don't just sit there and read a PowerPoint. We sit through these VLSs and we know how terrible that is, right? Okay, but so so try to actually use a prop. So did the instructor engage the students in the learning process? So does this mean that you have to be doing this in front of students? No, you can pretend that I'm the student and you're trying to engage me. That's okay. You don't have to do this and prepared thing in front of somebody else. Did the instructor evaluate the student's understanding? So this is really important. This is when you get done now with the process. You've done the whole thing, then do you go back over the material and ask the students, okay, do you remember what we talked about? What do we do when our clothes catch fire? That's right. Stop, drop, and roll. Okay, that kind of thing. Okay. And again, going back to audio visual aids, if you're going to be doing like stop, drop, and roll, don't be afraid to demonstrate that. Get on the ground, roll around, cover your face, that kind of thing. Any distracting characteristics or mannerisms during the presentation, so this is why it's a good thing to like enlist help, have somebody help you, record it for you, and they can tell you, hey, you touch your face a lot or whatever, and do your best to avoid that. I'm not going to be too crazy about it. If you do a lot, I would avoid, filler words as much as possible. I mean, everybody does them a little bit. But if you get somebody who's just and like, or do your best to avoid those. And was some presented within the suggested time limit, 5 to 7 minutes. So I had some last semester that were given to me that were 3 minutes long. I can't give you credit for that. So in that case, you'd really get a 0 or a 1, right? Okay. But as long as you're between 5 to 7 minutes, you're going to get a 4 on that. It's pretty simple. You just got to hit the time frame, So those are the parameters. Let's get out of this one. Okay. So those are the parameters for it that I have to evaluate. So what I'm going to try to do is I try to cut and paste that into your comments and show you exactly what you got in each one of those parameters. So I can't really deviate too much from it. I had a student last time that when we were doing the 5-point grading rubric, I really wanted to give him the 5. It was fantastic. And he just never, there was one aspect of it he didn't make, and I couldn't fudge it, because they're looking at the grades I give. So this is the assignment for it. And the only thing here is that it needs to be recorded and uploaded to YouTube or Vimeo. So most of them went to YouTube. That's fine. In the past, we had people trying to attach video files and it didn't work very well. So the link to YouTube or Vimeo works much better. Just include the link in down here, and I can cut and paste it in my search bar and I'll be able to view it. So works pretty good. So for that week, let me go back to where we were. So you have 2 other assignments that week. The first one is outline a pub ed program for the youth in grades 1 through 5. I got a lot of questions about that. So choose life safety topics that each grade level can comprehend and perform examples, include visual aids. So I had a lot of questions. It needs to be age appropriate. I had some students who did a presentation for 1st grade, 2nd grade, a presentation for 3rd grade, a presentation for 4th, right? Or they did 1st and 2nd grade, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That was fine, that's fine. Just remember, like from grades 1 through grades 5, there's quite a bit of cognitive difference, right? A 1st grader is going to learn things differently than a 5th grader, and the program that you make has to be appropriate for grades 1 through 5. So that was one way of accomplishing it, was doing an individual program for each grade. Another way to do it, is fine by me, is if you make it scalable, as they get older, and you just show me what explain to me how you're going to scale it. So, early at 1st grade, we're really only going to discuss, simple things that are easy to remember, demonstrate the smoke detector, put our gear on, show them what we look like in gear, demonstrate stay low and go, and demonstrate stop, drop, and roll. As they get older, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, we're going to add in things like a mock 911 call. Do you know your address, meeting place, bring home a mapping paper and map an escape plan with your family, that kind of thing. So you can do that too. You can address it that way. So you can either do individual per grade level, or you can do one program that you can scale up as you move through the grades. I don't care how you do it. It should just make sense and be obvious to me what you're trying to accomplish. Yeah, so and then so it says includes visual aid. So this really just means like, you know, make an attachment if you have a coloring book that you're going to use, or like I said, something for helping design a home escape plan, or if you have a handout about smoke detectors or Sparky Says or whatever, if you got any of that stuff, just attach and include it, you know, and get credit for it. So, okay, so that's assignment number 1. And then assignment number 2, I think this is the diagram of home safety plan. So I get a lot of confusion on this. I get people who basically send me a diagram of their home and that's their escape plan. That's not what this is about. This is about you. The word diagram is not the correct word, and this is basically discuss a home safety plan that you can distribute through your fire department. So, you know, you go to this link, it'll help you figure it out, but like, you know, how do you create a home safety program that can be delivered to the public? You know, and so include that, include any handout material you have, talk about how you're going to get it to the public, when you're going to get to, like, this is the kind of thing that gets you hand out maybe at the pancake breakfast or during your pub ed. Here, take this stuff home to your parents. And it has information about smoke detectors and fire extinguishers and seal monitors and home escape plans and, you know, things like that. So that's what they mean by a home safety plan that can be distributed to by your fire departments. Like, this is a piece of pub ed that you can hand out mainly to adults to discuss home safety, not you planning a route out of your house in the middle of a fire. That's what a lot of people send me. That is not at all the intent of this assignment. Okay, so that's assignment 2. All right. So then when we get to assignment 3, which is this video assignment, okay, then you can, if you choose to, use any of the topics that you discussed and created for assignments 1 and 2 and make your video on those. If you chose to, that's completely appropriate. In fact, it's probably the best choice because it's less work. But I don't care. If you want to do something completely different, I don't have a problem with it, you know. But do not be afraid to use material that you already created in assignments 1 or 2 for your video presentation in assignment 3. Okay, no problems there. So, and also this video, it does not need to be for children. You know, it is a public education video, all right? So it can be for you. You could do it for, like, say you were going to go present something to seniors in a senior living center. That would be completely appropriate. Also, we talk about kids because in our brains as firefighters, we think all pub ed is children, but it really isn't. We do a lot of public education outreach to all age groups. So do whatever you want, you know, but if you've already done one for grades 1 through 5, you know, it might be easier for you to make that video. Okay. So then the next thing I want to do, give me 1 second here. I just got them. Here we go. So I just want to show you, this is the video that I had last time that was just fantastic. Hold on, my bad. Can you hear the noise, the volume?
It's a bit faint, but I can make it out.
So he started out, he stated his name. I think he did not state his objectives, and that was one of the things I couldn't give him credit for. But he's interacting with the student. He had a smoke detector. That was his audiovisual aid. Now he's demonstrating.
Shrugged are tough. I'm not hearing any sound coming anymore.
No? Okay. All right, we'll stop it. So, hold on one second. Okay. All right, I'm back. All right, well, all right, so you get the idea, right? I mean, so what he's, the key things there, number one, is that he is actually interacting, right, with somebody, which is fine. But he has a script, he's clearly prepared, right? It sticks to the timeline. It fell right in that 5 to 7 minutes. It was at like, I think 5.5 minutes, okay? He obviously had help, right? He had a student to talk to, right? So we could see that interaction. He could get feedback from it. Do you understand what I'm telling you? You're getting that feedback, okay? He had somebody helping him to video, right? So if you're standing there doing a selfie, you're not going to get a good public education video. This should be something that looks kind of professional, okay? Oh, Frankie's driving a fork truck.
Yeah,
Okay. And also it's edited, right? So there's nice cuts between scenes, right? All right. So it looks like a nice video document that your fire department would want to put out. Okay. And then, it's appropriate to an age group. You picked an age group that's like about a 9-year-old kid, 7, 8, 9-year-old kid. And he's dealing with that age group on that level, giving them the information that they can cognitively understand, not trying to talk about, BTUs on propane burners and things like that. Okay. And then, to some degree, you're limiting your scope so that you can make sure you thoroughly cover the material, right? But he did actually manage to cover quite a bit. He definitely did smoke detectors. He did stop, drop, and roll. He did stay low and go. And then he did a gear demonstration, complete with the air pack, and then talking about what to do in case of fire, not to hide, to go to a meeting place, those kinds of things. So I just thought it was a very well done video. I've seen quite a few videos by now. Many of them are I just think lacking, so I thought that was a good idea of what you could look for to try to accomplish in your video. So that's about it for the video. It's a fun assignment. Like I said, it's weird to me that everybody has a hard time with it because everybody will go on TikTok and has no problem with that. But like trying to put together something and actually edit and produce a video is a little bit more daunting to people. So like last session, I had a student, I just think he didn't want to be on TV on video. It took him forever to get it done, and when he finally got it done, I mean, he literally just got a 1, because it took so long to get it. So that's it for the video. Do you have any questions on any of that? Does that all make sense where I'm coming from on it?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Just don't wait till the last minute. Like I said, I had a
Yeah.
lot of students who just stood in front of the camera like this and talked about, I want to talk about car seats. And, I just think it's important to use a car seat. I mean, that's just not going to get you a good grade. It's not a really produced video. That's just you riffing on a subject for 5 minutes, Then the other thing that we need to discuss is FSVO and hazmat awareness. Those need to be accomplished to get the OSFM, the Office of State Fire Marshal certification. They're not required to pass this class, but they're required for the certification with the state. They're both available to you. The FSVO, we really want to get that completed by everybody by November 1st. So really about 10 days from now. If we do that, if we get you guys done with it, then we can administer the final exam at a practical session. You won't have to come back for it. It'll make life a lot easier. As far as HMA, hazmat awareness, you're already enrolled in it. It will begin to take place on a blended version right after the end of this class. And then I think there's just the practical session at Champaign, which will need to be accomplished I don't know how that works out. So I don't deal with HMA. That's being done by people above me. I just know I need to talk about it with you and make sure that you guys are on board and getting this stuff done. So really critical right now is that you get the FSVO done, the online classroom part, okay? And you know that there is a practical driving section of FSVO. That's for the FSVO certification. That is not, you're not required to have the certification of FSVO to get your OSFM BOF certification. I know it's confusing, okay? You just have to pass the classroom part, okay? Once you pass the classroom part, try to find somebody to administer that driving portion for you and get that certification as well, because you'll need it for advanced firefighter and for company fire officers. So, but what they're saying is for BOF alone, you really it just wants you to have the classroom done so you understand the concepts, and then you can get your BOF certification through the state, okay? So 10 days to get that done. And Delta company is not doing great. We have a few that have started, but I don't think we have anybody who's complete yet. So, so that's that. And then research paper is coming up. The final is coming up on week 16. We're at week 12. So 4 weeks from now, many of you have done most, if not all of it, and could probably submit it right now. But if you want to submit it now, go ahead, just tell me you did it and I'll get it graded. So, okay. That's all I've got. Like I said, I'm recording this and then I'm going to try to send this out, the link out so people can watch it. I think it's important though that we talk about this video before you're expected to put it in. So, okay. Any questions, guys? I appreciate you coming in. Like I said, I don't know why that invite took so long to go out. I sent it out last night at like 7 o'clock. So nothing?
No, sir.
Okay. Keep up the good work, guys. All right.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah.